What's up, zookeepers? Thanks for coming back to join us for another episode of the Feenstra Zoo. Today is going to be quite a fun episode, but before we jump in, you know that there's got to be a little bit of housekeeping. So, starting off with number one, real simple, supporting the sponsor supports the show. Check the show notes, all of the links are going to be down there. I'll be talking a bit more about them later, but just know, supporting this show, supporting the sponsors is going to support the show. It's going to allow me to continue to upgrade the technology. It's going to allow me to continue upgrading the quality. So go check them out. All the links are going to be down there. Second, Patreon is live. So go check that out. There's a whole back catalog there. Video versions of the show are going to be available as of this show. Going to be very exciting. As well as the Tangents show has been created. I'm working on the first script, so please go check it out. Again, links are going to be in the show notes. Final point, the zoo is on pretty much all social media platforms. So go look for The Feenstra Zoo. That's where I am everywhere. Go check it out. Give us a follow. It would mean the world to me. All right, housekeeping over, time for fun stuff. Today we are talking about stewardship and what implications this rule could have on our lives. For starters, what the heck is stewardship anyway? When it's boiled down, simply it means the management of resources that ultimately belong to the king. This includes, but is not limited to, finances, time, talents, and environment. Okay. But what is the purpose of stewardship? Well, I'm glad you asked. Why bother learning about it at all? The way I read it, there are three main paths to follow here. Okay. First, it's spiritual. Everything is God's. We are just using His resources. Read Genesis 1:26-28, Psalm 24, verse 1. Number two, practical. We're working toward and building up a wealth of resources, money, time, margin. Okay, we're building these things up. Third, there's an ethical portion to this. Okay, we can't be generous if we have nothing to give. Read Corinthians 9, verse 7. Now, I know there's more than just these 3 points. There's more. There's certainly more than I can get into today. But these are the 3 points that I'm kind of going to dwell on. So, following down this journey, well, when we're going down this journey, we have to know that there's no final goal. There's not a big aha moment or a day when you wake up going, that's it, I'm a 9th level steward, that's it, the end. This is a process, and it's going to slowly change you over time. It'll create a heart of change in you because it's going to make you look at things different. It's going to change you from the inside out. This journey, it's going to create humility in you. It's going to increase your faithfulness. It's going to make you more accountable of a person. And it's going to increase your gratitude, meaning you're going to be more aware of the things that are in your life and be more grateful for them. Now, before we go any further, I think we do have to address the elephant in the room. When we think about the word stewardship, we inevitably think about money. And if you're anything like me and someone who grew up in the church, there's some weird teachings about money, about how we use money, about how we accumulate money. There's just some weird things that we've learned about in the church. Not all of them good. Now, I feel like I have to frame this quickly. I'm no money expert. I'm not a master of finance. Heck, I'm not even a master theologian. But I do have the experience and the knowledge to address a couple things about this topic. The first thing I really want to address is money, is it good or evil? Or is it something in between? Is it even okay for Christians to be wealthy or well off? Short answer, yes. Long answer, like many things, it depends on how you approach it. Now, what do I mean by this? If money and wealth is your end goal, it's your driving force, that's where we have an issue. It's too easy to make wealth or money your God when you think about money that way. If it's the end goal to just accumulate as much as possible. Real wise teacher a long time ago said, "For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil." Money can easily shift your priorities. And we need to make sure that we treat money with the respect it needs to. We need to treat money with the respect it needs. I mean, at the end of the day, in today's society, we do need money, but we need to respect it and the power that it has. Remembering to place the proper boundaries on money. Because we can't serve both God and money, or you could read that as Mammon in the Bible, who is the Aramaic god of money. We can't serve both of them. I have to frequently remind myself that money can be demonically animated, meaning that if you give it the chance, it will enslave you. You can be enslaved in greed, or you can be enslaved by discontent, paralyzed by unmet desire. So, guys, keep your desire for money in check and give it the respect it deserves, or it will take over your life in a very unhealthy way. The next question I wanted to address is, it's Jesus' teachings on money in general. Okay, they may be right, but are Jesus' teachings smart? I mean, it was like 2,000 years ago that this guy lived. Are his teachings still relevant? Again, short answer, yes. But again, I think there's more to it than that. So yeah, he did live 2,000 years ago, so surely he doesn't understand our current money and market economy, right? But Jesus taught in simple truths. He taught that it's better to give than receive. Timeless. Where your treasures are, your heart will be also. Or if you're faithful with a little, then you can be faithful with lots. All simple truths and all Jesus' teachings, right? I mean, I know if you've been a part of any church for any length of time, you've heard a teaching on money. And I don't know about you, but I've heard some we'll call interesting teachings on money. All of the teachings I've heard kind of fall into three categories, really. The first is the prosperity gospel. The second is the poverty gospel. And the third is the stewardship gospel. And funnily enough, all three use the same verse in their teachings, but they emphasize different pieces of it. The verse is 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 11. It reads like this: "You will be enriched in every way, so that you can be generous on every occasion." So short, simple, I like it. The first teaching, being a prosperity gospel, reads it like this: "You will be enriched." And they ignore the back half of the verse, meaning that if I'm faithful, my faith will pay me out in monetary dividends. Second, the poverty gospel ignores the first half, but reads, "You need to be generous on every occasion." Usually with the addition of "to my own detriment." Okay, I can't have worldly things or a home or certainly not a savings account. You must give everything away. Be generous in every occasion. Third is the stewardship gospel, or what I like to refer to the so that principle of this verse. Okay. You will be enriched in every way so that you can be generous on every occasion. When you look at the verse as a whole, see, it has a totally different meaning. You'll be blessed in all ways so that you can be generous in all things. Remember that, faithful with a little means you can be faithful with a lot. Same kind of thing. If you are generous with a little, you can be given more, so you can be generous with a lot. Now, okay, this is all well and good in theory, but what can we actually do to become good stewards? First off, I think we need to start with budgeting. Take stock of what you have. Take stock of the ins and outs of your money, time, schedule, talents, whatever. And just maybe look at where you have a little extra. And certainly take note of where you're already overextended. Make the necessary adjustments and create margins. Okay? Find out where you can be generous. In the same way, create schedule with your time, right? Go through, make sure you have margin in your time. Again, you can't be generous if you have nothing to give. Okay, we're called to serve. We're called to be there for people. So as such, we need to make space to be interrupted. We need to make space to volunteer. Now, it's okay to have a season of saying no to ensure you have space in your time so you can make future plans. Look, burnout is a real threat. If you're not careful, it's going to come for you. It's going to catch up to you and you're going to crash. Make margins in your schedule. The next thing, I think you need to set goals for yourself, for your family, and your household. Like Shalane and I, we frequently sit down and talk about our dreams. We talk about where we want to be, where we want to get to. But the important part with goal setting is make actionable steps to get you there. Shalane and I would like to have a little plot of land and build a little homestead for our family. So baby steps to get there. Couple investments, savings accounts, making good choices, saying no to extra spending. These little things are going to build up a storehouse that we can then invest in our future. Baby steps. It's not the whole plan, missing some pieces, but good analogy. Now, make these action steps measurable and attainable. Okay? Make sure you can plot your trajectory and tick off points on this journey so you feel like you're actually doing something. Next, I think we need to make a plan to be generous. Make it part of your budget. Make it part of your schedule. Set an alert so you can actually be there when you're needed. Create a separate savings account so that when a need arises, you've already set apart some of your finances to bless whatever comes up. And finally, actually serve others. Whether it's volunteering, be it inside or out of church, at a local shop, soup kitchen, whatever. Make it happen. Find a need and fill it. Actually serve others. You'd be surprised what dividends this actually pays out in your life. Now, I'm under no illusions. I know this is not black and white. Just do it. It's easy. You're not going to sit down for 20 minutes and just become a perfect holy steward for God. This is a process, a journey, one that will not be without struggle. Trust me, it's 3 steps forward, 1 step back, or 5 steps back some days. For example, something that I've really struggled with in my journey is busyness. There's always a lot going on. It's easy to overextend. It's easy to fill my schedule to 110%. And it's even easier to be distracted by life. Especially for me, the life of a husband and a father and a provider for our home. It's easy to become distracted and blink and 5 years go by. Another thing that I struggle with living in Canada is materialism, consumerism, discontent with our current living situation, wanting more or better stuff and good stuff, but it's still wanting more for my family or for myself. And you know what? Just distraction in general. It's so hard to live intentionally all the time. It's easy to blink and days or weeks go by. But like I said, this is a process, a slow journey. Give yourself grace. Come along with me on this journey and embrace the mantra of start where I am, not where I want to be. This is a journey. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. If you would, come join this journey with me. Join the slow process of becoming a good steward. Guys, thank you for joining joining with me in this time today. Now, before I sign off, I've got to do it. Supporting the sponsors really does support the show. The Feenstra Zoo is a small, simple podcast, now video podcast. So thank you for joining me, but go check out the links in the show notes down below. Remember the Crunch Cup, they're a long-running sponsor with us. Best way to take cereal with you in the morning. You've got 2 separate compartments in the same cup, one for milk, one for cereal. Keeps your cereal crunchy and delicious. It's fantastic. Definitely check it out. Outin, that's the portable espresso machine. Super simple, beautiful design, real easy to use. One button's going to heat your water, and hit it again, it's going to pressurize your espresso, pull a nice shot of espresso for you. Really, really great product. Viking Goods Company, that is where you're going to find your next favorite piece of clothing. I promise you, top tier quality. You're going to absolutely love it. And of course, guys, go check out the Feenstra Zoo's Patreon page. Become a Patreon. Support the show directly. Would absolutely love for you guys to join me there. Again, all the links are in the show notes down below. You're going to have notes for YouTube page as well. You can go check that out. But guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining us. I love you guys. God bless.